My bad. Is that why he's not showing up? I got distracted. You showed up 2 seconds after I went live, man. Yeah, maybe a minute. You see, that's on you. Anyway, so here's the deal. Actually, the second theater was almost full, but we'd already been in that theater. It's tiny. We didn't like it. That particular, theater number 21 or whatever. The one we liked right next to it, it had, 2 seats, wheelchair, 2 seats, wheelchair, 2 seats. So we'd take any of those. We prefer the ones on the left. We'd take any of them. Okay. One person sat in each of those duo seats. One person.
Just for you.
I guess so. And I was like, Aaron, that is so trolly. That is so trolly. There's so many other places to sit. So we didn't go. But yeah, I don't need warnings, but I appreciate that. Rando kiddo trolls in the dungeon. Yeah. That's why I didn't go see Screen Unseen this past Monday, because couldn't get the seat I wanted because some troll took one of each, and then the other theater had too many people, and I just didn't want to people. So I didn't. And I figured it'd be that movie, and I know I would love the movie. And I'm thinking, depending on how it's made, it's 50-50 whether Aaron would enjoy it or not. So, and we'd gotten original seats where we could be away from people. Done. But yeah.
Charles, the rock god of avoiding people.
As much, and I know, right? That's the yin yang of my life. It's the flip of the coin. It's very much, I've talked about how I just live off of performing. I love being in people. You'll see me in public environments, just really engaging. I love talking to people, that kind of ththing. But I hate randos. We talked about it so many times in Pokemon Go, and I just when it's just down private time, I don't like people. Just don't.
Speaking of people we do like, did you download the SpeakPipe?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
You know what else I downloaded? Yup.
I've got one that I need to crop. Yeah.
Can you not hear the music come through? Do I need to turn it up, sir?
I can't hear any music.
No, you really actually didn't hear it. Okay, so let me see. Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to pull a skit on the show and just ream you because I said, you know what I downloaded? And I hit the button for the intro and it's going. And then you just start talking. That's why I just stopped it and crossed my arms like, are you
You're giving me a look like I should have been paying attention to something, but I can't hear anything.
All right, let me check. Oh, somehow. All right. Listen closely, Joe, to how I sound to you right now, and then listen to this.
All right, how about now, Joe?
Oh, you sound way better.
So anytime I don't sound, I don't know, like the Rock got a podcast.
I told you when we started that you sounded weird.
No.
That you were all crackly, and I asked if you had a filter.
Linda, listen. This is all part of the show, by the way. But listen. Linda, listen. Everybody will get me on this one. This one is Team Rock God. Joe came on and said, because I was telling him about some Waves plugins I had. Do those work live? Because you sound choppier than usual. Now, what is usual for Wise and Nerdy? It can be some internet issues, right? There's definitely times where I'm like, that's choppy. That's not, hey, you should sound like this.
Grandpappy said he was ashamed of me.
All right.
Get ready to laugh out loud with Wise and Nerdy, the show hosted by two hilarious dads who bring their unique blend of wit, wisdom, and nerdiness to the airwaves. From sharing hilarious anecdotes about their own experiences to giving advice on navigating the ups and downs of life, these two dads have got you covered. But that's not all. They're also obsessed with all things nerdy, from comic books and sci-fi movies to video and board games. So whether you're a fellow dad, a pop culture fanatic, or just in need of a good laugh, this is Wise and Nerdy. And now let's
have some fun! Or I'll turn this car around.
I'm just waiting for you to stop your yapping.
I'm just waiting for you to show up in real life.
All hail, King of the Losers!
Yes, all hail Joseph. How are you doing tonight, Joe?
Jerk face.
We're on tonight, man. It's all kind of fired up sideways. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here for it. I like it. So craziness started. And that's the first time I think we've done like a 2-minute argument intro that then goes into the music. But you know what? You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep the random kid guessing. So, all right, Joe, we did some great warm up on the pre-show, which is for patrons, patreon.com/wise_and_nerdy, and come join the family. We'd love to have you there. And Joe told some interesting stories. I told some not that interesting of a story.
And we talked anime.
And we talked anime, which we'll do a little bit later also, but different kind of anime. We talked in depth there. So, but how about
it's
this?
The question of the week.
Now, Kurt is supposed to be out on the 27th. That's not the question. I just want to drag him right now. We have a guest. That's next week. This week is the 20th. I don't know where Kurt is. So I'm going to text him. Now, I thought he would show up during the intro because I thought it's because I had forgotten to give him the link. But yet, do podcasters sound more authoritative at 2x speed, Joe? This is the one you brought to the table.
I sure did. So I listen to basically all of my podcasts at 2x speed. And I don't know if they necessarily sound more authoritative at 2x speed, but when I go from 2x speed to normal speed, they sure sound more unsure of themselves because now they're talking at a normal speed, whereas before it was just, off the cuff, witty comeback, like there's no pause breaks, anything. And so I don't know, maybe it just feels more scripted or like they don't have to think or anything like that. They just, I don't know. I think they do. I think they sound a little bit more authoritative at 2x speed.
I don't know about that. I haven't thought about it that way. I find it more interesting that I don't listen at 2x. I listen at 1.6, I think is what my app is set at right now. And I had to work up to it, right? I toyed with, depending on the app I was using at the time, 1.5, 1.25. Then I got a different app. And so it was in even numbers, 1.2, 1.4, 1. Whatever. So I built up to 1.6. Still don't like higher than that for my brain processing. Because here's what's interesting to me, is how I hear it tonally. So I have a setup in my helmet on my motorcycle that I can listen to music and podcasts. And podcasts are harder usually in that scenario, but I finally got it tweaked just right where I can do it. But I cannot listen at 1 point anything speed other than 1.0 because the speed somehow changes the tone, and the bass tones of the engine kind of cut some of that other tone out. And I have a very hard time understanding, get my brain whereas in my car with the car quietness, I can drive and not have to think about what somebody is saying. So I do have to like slow it down on my bike. But I find it interesting how certain people, when you put it in that faster speed, they don't sound like they're talking in faster speed. I don't mean like chipmunk, but I mean, they talk at such a not noticeable slower pace.
Their normal cadence is slightly slower.
That sped up thing, it sounds like this show, right? Where we're poppy and we're on, and there's very little moments of silence unless we're having a serious moment. Because both of our cadences are somewhat quick and just high energy entertainment kind of thing. So yeah, I find it interesting. Like I listened to Wait You Haven't Seen with TV's Travis, and I would dare say he sounds quoted fingers normal. Like I've been on the show twice. I've talked about it in 1.6 speed. My brain's not going, that's not how he sounds. And then you slow it down, you're like, that's not how he sounds. But of course he does, because you put it at normal speed, 1.0. Yeah. So what podcasts do you not listen? Oh, hey, Hugh, I forgot to text you. Hugh's here. Look at that. I listen to Infinite and Probability Speed. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Love it.
He listens at times 42.
Oh, Joe gets 1 point. Joe, that's the first point you've gotten in 6 years. You impressed me, sir. You impressed me.
And that's not just from the movie. I've read those books. So they get real weird by the end.
Well, here's your geek cred, sir. I actually and inferred you read the books versus the movies.
Hmm.
So, okay. We talked about podcasters 2x speed. I don't know about the authoritative stuff, but let me throw out a sub question, sir. How much of a geek do you have to be to recognize 42?
Not much, I don't think.
I wouldn't think so either. Like, my entry into geekdom, nerddom was when I was a kid. I watched Star Wars with my dad, right? That was about as geek, and Quantum Leap, nothing that was like where we are now, right? Anime and toys and all this stuff. So I would never consider myself like, I was always a nerd. I was always an everyman. I liked certain things about certain things that could relate to different groups. All that being said, I did read all of the Douglas Adams books. I love it's called the Hitchhiker's Trilogy, and it's 5 books. That's always tickled me. I listened to the BBC radio play. I found it at the local library, I think, and bought it on tape or something when they were having a sale. Watched the old BBC show. I've watched the new movie. But I don't consider that geeky. To me, that's kind of mainstream. I mean, the world knows who Douglas Adams is. However, sir, what number is on the back of every jersey that I make?
42.
42. Why? Because life, the universe, and everything. So, Kelsey's no nerd because it's not the answer to life. It's the answer to what's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. And then they had to spend another million years trying to figure out what 42 meant. All right, I'm just messing with you. I mean, that's true, but I'm not that kind of gatekeeper. But yeah, because numbers are arbitrary. I don't know. So I put 42, knowing that in the real world, nobody's going to care. And, if they don't get it, they don't get it. Or if somebody asks me, I'll tell you, it's Hitchhiker's Guide. But at Dragon Con or any of those circles, I expect people to recognize it. Not to go, oh, that's that, but to just know. I cannot tell you how many nerds at Dragon Con goes, hey, man, that's a really cool jersey. What's the number mean? And I just go life, universe, and everything, baby. And I keep on rolling. And whatever. Q putting in code there. What's that say, Joe?
It depends on whether you're going with a base 0 or a base 1, but it's just a number.
10, 10, 10. And it's ones and zeros, everybody. All right, we got to move on. We got to move on.
10, 10.
Roll that dice.
You didn't.
What? I didn't what?
You had a sub question, and then
that was a sub question. How nerdy do you need to be?
Okay.
All right. We're gonna cut it back in later. We're not, because I'm not gonna do that. But we're gonna pretend like we're gonna cut it back in later. The sub question, Joe, is how nerdy do you need to be to recognize the number 42 from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
You were asking about like which podcast do I listen at one point?
Oh,
and
no,
then you
broke off. Thought I was gonna go there. I mean,
Squirrel.
Look, yeah, Kelsey gets it. And that's 42 in binary. It's a number. It's 42 in binary. 10, 10, 10. So, all right, roll that dice. Roll the dice. Roll
Let
that
Daddy
dice.
decide.
How is it? Every week that button's at random, is it not? Or did you lie to me and you put it on fixed?
Dear _
Advise me, Daddy. You're
None of those are right. Kill
Let
that
Daddy
button.
decide.
None of those are right. How do you decide when to cut off a streaming service? And in general, do you pay attention to your services and manage them well?
I guess it's when you stop watching stuff on it. We stopped paying for Walmart Plus, which means we dropped Paramount Plus. We weren't using Paramount Plus a ton. Like I watched the Halo series on there, and I watched a couple of other things on there. But we weren't using it a ton. But it was also just an extra to Walmart Plus. But if Walmart Plus ever goes on sale again for 50% off, which is what we had paid for it, we're gonna scoop it right back up. We just don't want to pay full price for it.
Full price. You're a fool to pay full price.
Yeah, we submitted to cancel our Amazon Prime. I believe that goes into effect in August. We don't order stuff from Amazon Prime or Amazon as often as we used to, and the Prime shipping is not what it used to be, and we don't watch Amazon Prime as much as a lot of other streaming services. So we were looking at different ways we could cut our budget down some, and those were a couple of the things that we decided to axe. So it all came down to what we weren't using, and we're considering cutting a little bit more, but we'll see.
Well, let me ask you why. Is it because you're paying attention to the levels you're using it, or you're just trying to shave off some money off the budget because you need those gold caps?
Both.
I love how you answered before I got the joke in, and you just agreed with it. It's awesome. I love it.
We were looking for ways to save, and so we thought about which streaming services we were using the least, and said, okay, goodbye.
Because it adds up over time.
Yeah.
Let me see what I do have actively off the top of my head. I've got Disney Plus, Netflix, the Peacock, everybody, Peacock. I'd have to go look. For those are the ones I know I pay for. I know I probably have a couple more that I pay for. I've only used a free Crunchyroll, but I'm gonna. And I say this in all sincerity, it's only $8. But like, I want to trade an $8 service out that I'm not using. I've had Paramount Plus up and down. Tulsa King was my jam on there. I love Stallone and his writing. I watched most of the Star Trek stuff. The newest season of Picard, which is 3, I think I haven't seen. And I think I did finish Discovery, but I haven't watched any of the Strange New Worlds. Anyway, yeah. Paramount is kind of up and down for me, but here's my thing too. I kind of got hooked into the fallacy of all this, right? Disney Plus for years just kept a steady run of things on there that I wanted to see. It'd be a movie, or of course COVID was happening, so the movie launches for Marvel, like Black Widow, the shows, we get that. And I honestly haven't touched Disney Plus since I watched X-Men 97, the final episode. I mean, I'm touched being relative. I haven't watched anything on it. I go in and go, yeah, I don't see anything I want. We haven't explored the Nat Geo side as much as we should. But I am thinking about keeping it because Hulu also has been up and down for me. And I'm like, well, if I can just bundle it with Hulu for $2, because that's all I really want to.
Yeah,
that's all I really want to pay for Hulu. I don't know why that is. I had it for a long time. We just didn't watch it, so I turned it off. They offered to have me come back for $2 a month or 3 months, so I did that. Then when it went up to $8, which is still not a lot, I went out. I'm gone. So there's that. But bundling is fine. But here's my thing: I pay for Peacock because right now, other than Netflix is my boy. I've been with Netflix since the DVD days, got the games in the mail days, got on board the second they started streaming. I've been here since day one, and I love it. I just constantly can find something to watch on Netflix. It's my style. I can't find everything I want to watch on Netflix, but I can always find something to watch on Netflix. So that's always my mainstay. But right now, besides that, Peacock is it. I'm enjoying some of the movies they have on there. Aaron and I we've been watching some game shows like Weakest Link. This is summer, right? So we're going to catch some of that stuff, that brainless fun, but it's also trivia. And then they have a BBC show on there called For What It's Worth, 2 seasons. So we saw the first episode last night. My wife's like, I need more of this. And I'll give you a little quick rundown, Joe. It is a trivia show. Quiz show, of course, in England, quiz show. But the money you win is based off of the antiques that you pick out, and you don't get to keep the antiques; it's the cash value. But these people who presumably do some kind of antique shop, not professionals, but do antique shopping, can value some. They go through, they get to see them all, look at them, touch them, and then as one person answers the questions, the other person picks the prize. And so if you answer the question right, you pick a prize that goes on your digital screen. And whatever that value is what you can win at the end of the game. And it's a fun twist. Surprise, the top prize on the first episode, $2,500. I looked at my wife like, can you imagine that being America? And be like, hey, you got to answer questions, then you pick up these prizes. But the most you're going to make is $2,500. Nobody would go on that show. Nobody. $2,500.
But what if they
That's
called it?
stupid.
What if they brought back Supermarket Suite? Everybody would be all over that, right?
Oh yeah, right now, but that's $1 million show. They can't afford to bring Supermarket Suite back. 100%. But I admired it. I like this. One of the things I like about British TV is that you could tell they're there for the pride of knowing the answers, right? This is the kind of thing I saw at trivia nights that I hosted. You're proud that you win this thing. It's a fun challenge, and they enjoy the process of figuring out the antique and building that process. Because at the end, you pick one antique to hold on to, and that's your cash prize, basically. And they're just happy as can be. I'm like, I love it. They go on for the pride of knowledge, the joy of the game, the competition to see if we can make this happen, and they're walking away with in today's society chump change, especially on game shows, right? Anyway, all that being said,
would have paid for my recent car repairs.
I was not to get those gold hubcaps. But I think so. I'm paying $6 a month for Peacock, but I think it's included in my Comcast bill, but I don't know how to connect it,
how to access it.
Right. And so I just like, but in my mind, it's killing me that I'm spending $6 for something that's included in another bill that I already pay. And Comcast is my internet provider because they can have their TV. I don't really care. Oh, HBO Plus or HBO Max. I pay for that. I just finally got that. I mean, my brother-in-law has been letting me use his, but I just got tired of asking for him to relog in or whatever. It's worth it for me to have HBO. Apple TV is included with my phone, and originally it was with my first my iPhone 12, I think is what it came with. And then T-Mobile consistently keeps giving me that for free.
Giving you which one for free?
Apple TV.
Okay. I have T-Mobile. That's how I get Hulu though. But
so I think it's the time you sign up.
It might be.
I gotta get my account fixed. I have a business account, so I gotta get my access to it fixed. But before somehow, it's something T-Mobile did. Is they updated that? When they consolidated all the apps for T-Mobile and they updated them.
Well, and they bought
I could not
Sprint.
check my account anymore.
So under Sprint, I had Hulu. So I guess I'm grandfathered into Hulu. Maybe. And I mean, I'm sure it depends. I had MLB TV for a year. Just go, I might check it out. Soccer, major, not MLB. I didn't care about baseball. MLS. I had MLS because they offered it through Apple TV for free. Like they'll like, hey, we'll pay for a year. I'm like, cool. I might check it out. Didn't. But yeah, I'm thinking about. I was gonna get rid of Disney, but it's like, well, there's some stuff on Hulu that I'm seeing more commercials for. I'm seeing more things I'd like to see. It's the summertime, so I kind of like that dumb TV that comes out in the summer just as a placeholder of game shows and different things that they try out that may or may not work. And that's all going to be on Hulu because essentially Hulu is network TV next day, more or less. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, but also you got to pay attention, because when it was only a few months ago, but a few months ago, that's when I figured out, I was like, wait a minute, why does it say on my Comcast bill, Peacock at $0? But I know I'm getting it through Roku because that's the thing. These companies won't always tell you what you have. They just won't. Yeah, they like to bake things into there. I need to do a search now because it's been forever since Sprint was purchased by T-Mobile. I need to see if there's freebies that I'm missing out on that just because I haven't called them up.
What model phone do you have?
I have an iPhone 10, iPhone X.
It's time for an upgrade, my friend. It is time for an upgrade.
Not
16 is coming out in a few months. It is time.
My wife and I, we've got a plan. We're gonna get new phones in about a year and a half. So we're working real hard to pay off some credit card debt, and then we're gonna get new phones after that.
Watch the deals. Because they're like, my wife got her phone on T-Mobile. Now she had to sign the contract, but it's like it charges it, but for the month and immediately puts a credit right back in for it. So she's getting it for free. I think we had to pay a few taxes on it. But yeah, I'm just saying, man, you're making You're making my eyeball pop out. A year and a half more on an X. So you're gonna get the iPhone 18 before you think about upgrading.
Quite possibly, yeah.
It says if you have T-Mobile, you have Netflix, I think. Oh yeah. So you're right, you do. Again, who knows what promotions and that's what I do like about T-Mobile. The signal's pretty good. I say pretty good. I mean, I have less dead spots than other phones I've had in the past, but there's still some issues in areas where other phones are like, oh, I got full bars. Like, yeah, okay, I got full bars most of the time. Anyway, no worries. But it's a fun company, and they are always giving me stuff I like, which is media. So I definitely got the Apple TV Plus. I want to say I did get the basic Netflix for free through them, but then I still
which now has ads, right?
I don't know if the one that they maybe because what I did was I took theirs. So yeah, sign me up. And then I just went and upgraded. So I'm paying the difference between that and that. I want the ad free, but also I really want that 4K experience. Like when I put something on my big screen to watch it, I want to watch it in 4K. So I pay like $2 or $3 a month for it because I pay the difference between the two tiers. I forgot about that, civilian. So yeah. But yeah, Crunchyroll has been on my radar, and I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on that $7, and I think it's a better place to be in life for me personally. That I stopped and went, don't just hit the button on. I think it's $8. I think it's $7.99 a month. Don't just hit the button on $8. Go look at what you're actually paying for all your different services to make sure you want to. So,
yeah, and I think the price just went up on it too. It used to be like $5 a month or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure now it's $7.99.
Well, because
still, come on.
How
is that not worth it?
They bought out Funimation, and so they rolled up a lot more content into their stuff. But that was a whole hullabaloo. The people that had Funimation are pretty ticked because they basically didn't honor any of the contracts that they had that Funimation had when they bought it out.
Sucks to suck.
Yep.
Roll that dice.
I still don't know where Kurt is, and I texted him.
Waka waka, bad dad jokes.
Huh. He must be out for milk.
Oh, that was a good bad dad joke. Moving on.
All right. So this one comes to us from CaseyJay.
No,
NASA.
Just you guys. If you don't read it standing on your head, it doesn't count.
Oh, my bad. NASA is launching a satellite to say sorry to the aliens. They're calling it the Apollo G.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I won't torture you anymore. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, I do. I'm going.
Oh, you want to be tortured more? Okay.
No. Roll
that dice.
You misunderstood.
Time for a commercial break.
All right. How come they can get that right, but not let that is?
Because we've had that one there for a long time.
If you would just have my kids record something, we wouldn't have this problem.
All right.
All right. So I had to finish my thought there, and let's see. Let me see, Joe. You got a dice. You're gonna need a 1, 2, 3-sided dice.
Okay.
I make it. Well, there's not 2.
We can do I've got.
How about? Do you have an 8-sided dice?
I do.
Roll it.
All right. I dropped it. It's murdered. I'll have to grab a different 8-sided dice. All the 8-sided dice. A 3.
Let's try this. This should be 3. All right, everybody. Come check us out. Patreon.com/wise_n_nerdy. And you too can be part of the fandom that hangs out with us, talks with us. Joe, there's still a video I got to watch of how your kids cover from a title.
That's right.
That's over in our Discord, which you can find easily. Now, Discord has some levels for patrons, but we've got everybody included there. And you can go to Linktree/wise_n_nerdy. Now, let's just kind of groove for a minute. You know what? Some of the best Father's Day presents come from a simple phone call. wiseandnerdy.com/call-dad and come talk to your old digital poppies right here. Digital doodads, if you nope, I don't like that one.
Nope, didn't like that.
Didn't like it. No, sir, didn't like it. All right, roll us back in. Let's see what we got, man.
Those are repeats. All right.
Personal story time.
This one is on you, sir. How you infested
I
the
didn't do
office
it.
with bed. It says, Joe, I got the office infested with bed bugs.
That is not what it says.
They don't know.
Oh man.
What does it say? What does it
Yeah.
say?
So for those that want to know a little bit of background baseball, under the personal story tab, we've got a bunch of stories listed that we could choose from. And I put the ones that are me. I put Joe hyphen and then what the story's about. So what this actually says is Joe hyphen the office got infested with
Don't
bed
you just
bugs.
love how he has to? He
I have
loves
to.
what we do so much that he thinks my stories are his, so he has to declare which ones are his, so he remembers that. Oh wait, no, that was a Charles story. All right, no,
Yeah, Charles got infested with bed bugs.
no. Well played, sir. Thank you for pointing out.
Oh man, yeah, no. So we got an email and an automatic call. We have a system that's I can't remember what it stands for, but it's BEN. BEN is the acronym. And so we got an automated call telling everyone not to come into the office. And I've been working from home for 4 years now, so I was like, okay, but I wanted to know why. So I talked to one of the
This is
people.
the one day I want to go to the office.
So I've got a few coworkers that they're always in the center of the gossip. They always know what's going on behind the scenes, and so they get all the tea. And so I know who to go to find out why stuff is happening. So I reach out to my contact and I'm like, okay, what's the real story here? Why are they telling people not to come in? And it was like they sent it out on like a Tuesday and they were like, don't come in until like next Tuesday for like a week. And so come to find out, there was a bed bug infestation at the office. Oh, and so what happened is, in
In an office that nobody's supposed to be working in, right?
well,
Basically.
they brought people back, so there are people in the office, but because there are a lot less people, what they did is they've rented out a floor to, well, rented out is kind of not the right term, because so they have college students that come in and do classes. They do classes there, and then they offer the promising ones internships after their classes are done as well. But they completely reconfigured this entire floor to, I guess, make it more hip or whatever. So like they've got a giant chessboard, they've got some TVs with some video game consoles, and they've got an area for napping.
So kindergarten.
You're not wrong. We make fun of it all the time when we're talking about it at work. But one of these people who wanted to nap brought in contaminated pillow and blanket and infested the entire office with bed bugs that had to be fumigated for a week. And so everyone had to work from home because the college kids brought in bed bugs.
Those things are very hard to kill.
Yeah. Well, and it was originally don't come back till Monday, and then it got extended for a few days. And so it ended up being about a week. But yeah. We were just like, really? Well, because half the stuff I'm like, college kids don't need an area for napping. They should just I don't know. People are coddled so much these days. I sound like an old man, but
Yeah,
it's
you
true.
do. You're about to tell me to get off your podcast. I mean, I agree. I don't understand the concept of workspace for a nap. I mean, you're here to presumably learn stuff about what your company does, like inside the company, jobs or whatever, because then they get internships. Why? Oh, I'm sorry, they stayed up all night studying. Nobody stays up all night studying. Almost nobody's. And the ones that do, they don't need a nap. They're going to take their Adderall and they want to learn everything you're going to teach them. So, yeah. BYUI. Bluey? No, it's Bluey, civilian. Bluey has napping
Brigham
spots.
Young University, Idaho has napping spots now. Oh.
They're called dorms, aren't they?
I think they actually got rid of their dorms because no one wanted
Well,
to
then
stay
they brought
in
them back and called them something else.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
I mean, I get wanting to take a nap while you're at work.
And I mean, this is a bit of a tangent, but my wife sent me a reel the other day about how Gen Z, a decent percentage of them are bringing their parents to job interviews, and some of the parents are even answering questions at the job interview on behalf of their kids. It's just like when it feels like when you are actually an adult is getting pushed further and further and further back. It's like, I don't know. When I was growing up, and you too, because you're a fair bit older than me. Enough,
baby.
Yeah, so we bridge different generations, but people craved their independence. Like they couldn't wait to get out of, and I get that at least financially it's a lot harder to have that independence, but it feels too much. There's too much of coddling going on, in my opinion. We went from bed bugs to coddling, and it's too much for me.
I have not dealt with that in the workplace. I've seen some TikToks where people are selling supposedly true stories, talking about how mom came into their workplace to talk about their kids, such whatever. But when I was at school, like I was teaching EMT school, we definitely had, I mean, they're over 18. You don't have to be to take the class, but typically to get licensure, you do. So typically everybody's 18 or older. Most people we get, I mean, 18 is rare to be that young and go to EMT school still. And so they'll be 20 and their mama will bring them in. Okay, first, I get it for orientation night, perhaps you're paying for it. You want to understand the process so you can support your kid. Sure, I get that. But when your kid's failing and we're talking to them about payments and failing and adding extra fees, and then the parent wants to call up, it's like, you do understand that your child is not a child. They are, I wouldn't say a grown adult, but they are legally an adult. And just like they can go to jail for the bad things they do, choices have consequences. Yeah. It's crazy. There's the random kid. Random kid went away for a little bit, but came back.
Baby, come back.
So here's what I've taught my kids, and this is what I work with EMTs and the next generation that's coming in to EMS. I call everybody a kid, by the way. I mean, there's people older than me, and I'm like, yeah, he's a good kid. And for me, it's like an experience in life, or I mean, sometimes in reality, it's a child or a young adult or something like that. But mostly, I guess when I sense that somebody's just not as wise or nerdy as I am, as I'll put it, I call them a kid. But the true young people that are coming into the field of EMS, and my own kids are that age. My older two are that they could be entering that. It's I hate when people just call it generational, because it's not. A lot of the people that I see coming to EMT school on their own volition, like if their parent just wants them to do it, that's exactly what you're talking about to a point. But it's very much, they're not always taught how to live. They're not always taught how to figure things out on their own. I hate those TikToks out there where a parent's showing a kid something in life, like DOB. So you know what that is, right?
I saw that one. Yeah,
you saw that one.
I mean, I work at an insurance company. If I don't know what DOB means, I might be in trouble.
Well, yes, but to be fair, You know, it
Most
is in
people should know.
context. And yes, but also in context, right? EMS for me is emergency medical services. A block down the street, it's Edwards Middle School. So, you know, my kids kept talking about EMS. I'm like, what do you, oh yeah, middle school, my bad, yeah, whatever. But yeah, DOB is universally, mostly depending on context. I'm sure there's a rare case that's not, but date of birth. And this TikTok, of course, the parents taking the TikTok, the parents sitting there, and this daughter is between 16 and 18. Sounds like it's her first job. And they're of course they do things through text, right? Which drives me crazy, but sure, whatever. And she's like, they want a dob. What's a dob? And the parents are just laughing at her. And I'm going, hey, morons, guess whose daughter she is? Oh, yours. And you didn't teach her what
a dob is.
I need your dob for
and I'm sure it was in complete capitalization, which would denote that it's an acronym.
Okay, but when's I get it. Your kids are between 4 and 12. But when have you taught your kids what an acronym truly means in this world? Not the meaning of it, but like, okay, it can mean this
that
and
an acronym, yeah,
right. But you have to teach that at some point. Somebody has to teach that at some point.
I think video games have already taught them that, because, like, for instance, they play balloons all the time, and they're like, "Oh, that's a Moab. That stands for monkey."
Yeah,
blah,
okay,
blah,
sure.
blah, blah.
Good. Well, okay, not everybody plays games like we do, but yeah. But beyond that, that game taught them what Moab. I mean, it's part of the storyline. They make a big deal out of mother of all balloons. You know, but if you don't have a reason to know, why would you have a reason to know? You know what I'm saying? And when your daughter is getting her first job in life and she doesn't know what a dob is, that's literally, you've obviously filled out every piece of paperwork for her ever, for school and whatever other legal things, doctor's offices. So she's never done that. The things that she does online, you set up her phone, you bought her phone for. How many times do you have to figure out what DOB is on your phone? Never. And you're not to set it up, not to do standard apps, not to do, you know, you might spin a thing. You might not look at the screen. We all know, hey, if there's a spinner with month, day, and year, there wasn't a birthday, you know? And that it's not in balloons. It's not, Joe. In balloons, Moab is mother of all balloons. That's the pun that they make. Where's Kurt when you need him, for crying out loud? Anyway, off of my soapbox, you understand what I'm saying? Is there something to be said about people who are whiny? Yeah, he did. Well, he didn't call in sick. He just didn't show up. I don't know where he is. I literally texted him again. He put a 4-letter word in there. Don't know why, but apparently there's something in Discord, but he mistyped. So on text, he just puts a 4-letter word. I'm like, all right. Anyway, teach everybody what you want them to know. And that's been the heart of how I've built my team at my company. It is on us. I don't care how the adult is that comes to us. It is on us to clearly teach what we want to go on here. End of story. Because if we want to sit and go, well, they should know better. Well, sometimes there's going to be the why. Ask them about their life and try to figure out where in their life they should have learned whatever it is you think they should already know. Secondly, then think back in your life to when you figured that out yourself. You know, I can almost guarantee most situations are somebody taught you something. College orientation, someone asked me why TBA teaches so many classes. I like it, Hugh. I like it. That was back in the 40s, man, when that happened for Hugh. So, but yeah, we teach. If to listen, but to mock somebody because they don't know this common thing, please. Which is not what you're doing, but you know, you triggered a soapbox out there.
And when in doubt, wash your pillow and your blanket so you don't get bed bugs.
They're not as an infection is bad, but like the bed bug itself is not as bad as you think. Every once in a while we have a patient that gets it, and we do have to take some precautions, like we put them on a paper sheet so we can throw it away and you can see the bed bugs. There's sprays out there. You know, when it first happened, I'd never dealt with bed bugs. And I had to Google it, and because everybody around me is like, you have to like use a nuclear bomb. Like if you get into your house, you got to move out. And they put a tent over it. And
they're like little cockroaches. They survive everything.
You got to throw them in a dryer because you got to get up to 1400 degrees Celsius to kill. I was like, Google. oh look, there's a $30 spray at Amazon. Done. I'm not whatever. It's all right. Roll that dice. Feel like Bob Magoo.
What are you nerding out about now?
All right, Joseph. Again, you got first space, first spot, first something.
And to the shock of no one, I'm going to talk about an anime called Tower of God. Now, did you want to play your game where you try to figure out what it is before I let you know?
Sure. So
Go for it.
Tower of God. That one's fairly straightforward so far. I am thinking it's some kind of battle royale through a tower at different levels, get harder to get up to something, not to get to God, not to get to heaven, although it could be, but I'm thinking it's actually like a fighting level thing to where you can get free, and that God or something, they put it there, the gods have a prize, something. That's what I'm thinking Tower of God is.
Okay. Apparently, Civilian doesn't like this one. A lot of times, Civilian and I, our tastes are very similar, but this is not one that he likes. So it's getting a new season, so I rewatched season 1. Tower of God is an anime where I guess I'll preface by saying there's a character in this that is probably among the top 5 most hated characters in anime, period. Up there with the character from Full Metal Alchemist that everyone hates. You should get that reference, Charles. So up there. And so
I don't like that one.
What the tower is, the Tower of God, is it's a tower that you have to ascend, and it's got trials throughout the entire thing to move up to the higher levels. And if you make it to the top, supposedly you get a wish granted. So the main...
No, I was close, actually.
Yeah. The main character, he is what's called an irregular, because most people are invited to climb the tower to begin these trials. He just showed up. And he's actually following someone else. He's got a friend who is trying to reach the top specifically to see the stars. She wants to make it to the top, see the stars. And so he just wants to be with his friend. So he is climbing the tower too to see his friend. But in order to climb the tower, he's got to do some serious growing in strength and whatnot. And he's very naive, because he doesn't have basically any experiences, because he has amnesia. He doesn't have any memory before meeting the friend that he's chasing. And so it is, I really like it. I do. Civilian does not. That's okay. We can have a difference of opinion, Civilian. We can still be friends.
No, you can't.
But I will admit, though, the first season very much feels like a setup, a prologue for the rest of it. So I'm happy that that the new season is coming out here later this year. And it's actually one of I've watched a few of them now, but it's an anime that's based off of a South Korean manhwa. So instead of a manga, which would be Japanese, it's a South Korean based one. And it's very good. It's a Crunchyroll original, and the animation style is very different than almost any other anime that I've watched, but I really liked it. I ended up liking it quite a bit. My biggest problem with it is it doesn't answer a lot of the questions about the world in general. So it's very lacking.
So it doesn't give
in
you
world
42.
building. No, it does not. It doesn't give you 42 at all. And so, yeah, it's the animation for him. So like I said, it's very different
I
from
can
most.
agree. I haven't seen this one, but I can agree that animation can make or break a show for me.
Yes, it definitely can. And the animation for this is very different from most anime. But I liked it. So, there's that. But yeah, no, it's very good. If you wanted to try it, I would try the first episode, and if you don't like it, I would
What?
just
You'd
drop
watch
it.
the first episode first?
Well, I'm saying try one episode, and if you don't like it, don't bother. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying if you don't like it, you bother all the way through just to make sure you don't like it.
So there's other anime where I will tell you, if you're not willing to give it at least 10 episodes, then don't even try it. But with this
That's a
one,
lot of episodes to get hooked in. 3 is usually my max.
You and I were talking about Steins Gate before this started.
Yeah.
It's very weird at the beginning, and a lot of people drop it at the beginning.
But
if you don't give it at least 10 episodes, yes.
That's a lot. We'll see. Here's the thing, though. But Steins Gate comes highly recommended from you, from other people. And then, of course, the video you saw, the way the guy presented it, and then show off some clips, and he talks about the high points.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of recommendation makes you go, okay, let me look more into it. But 10, I mean, I'll see what I see, right? When I get to it, I'll let you know, of course.
It has
but
a very slow start. Very slow and very weird.
Huge ask.
It
is.
is.
30-minute.
Yeah.
So
I think there's 24. I think there's 24 episodes in that season 1.
Take 5 hours to capture your audience.
But once it hits that like 10th or 11th episode, a switch is going to get flicked, and you are going to want to binge the entire rest of it. Like, you won't want to stop.
What's going to happen? I am going to obviously, I mean, it's on my list anyway. I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to come back and tell you if Joe was right or wrong, or just give a little bit more depth to that analysis of how many you should give it, type of deal.
And I will, I'll say this. I enjoyed Steins Gate more the second time I watched it than the first time, because I knew what to look for. Because anything with time travel, there's tons of stuff you're not going to catch on the first watch through. And what else did I watch recently that I cannot remember what it was, because people watch it, this is exactly like that. It's like you watch it like, oh my God, you'll never see the twist, and then you want to watch it again knowing the twist to see where the clues are. Mm-hmm.
And there's every once in a while there's a good show like that. I have found with anime that I am very much into there's 3 streams that I'm into. One is I'm very much, you tell me what this is in the title. And I've tried other things. I finished up Solo Leveling. I finished up something else I was watching on Netflix. Like, you know what? Netflix is my easy go-to. Let me search Demon Slayer, because it's already on here, but it'll tell me other shows like Demon Slayer, which are never like Demon Slayer. There's nothing like Demon Slayer out there. But I mean, the right animation, the way it's drawn, the way it's the writing, the acting, and the storyline, that combination, there's nothing out there like Demon Slayer. But I tried a few of them. I don't remember what they all were. I tried at least 3 of them. One of them was, you had talked about, you and Kelsey watched the Delicious in Dungeon, whatever it was.
Just wrapped up the season finale.
Yeah, I couldn't finish the first episode.
Oh,
but
it's not for everybody.
One. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I'm not nitpicking. I'm not saying, well, this was. It very much was just the TV I don't like. It's like, here's a cooking show. Now I get it. If I really was into that, like Zelda, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I don't cook at all. That's my wife. She will play all day while at work, and she will hunt and gather and cook, and I'll come back and she'll go, okay, go slay everybody to get me to the next level. And I'll have rows and rows and rows of food, because I just don't like that part of it. All right, Black Lagoon, I'll write that down. But there was nothing wrong with it. And you said I probably wouldn't or might not like it. But the animation was good. The title was to the point, but it lacked just that me caring part of it. And it was, I mean, when he fixed the 3rd or 4th dish in a row, and it's like the thing, it's very much that TV, HD TV, here's how we make this. It's like, yeah, not for me. I bumped out. There were some others that were not to the point, so I can't remember their names. But I read the description, like, okay, this sounds interesting. Couldn't get through the first episode. It's like, so I'm very much give it to me in the title. Solo Leveling, loved it. Right? Demon Slayer, loved it. My Hero Academia, loved it. Yeah, I'm still working on season 2.
So you haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
I think I have. So it's just going to get better from here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yes, My Hero Academia is fantastic.
Hell's Paradise is what I'm watching on Netflix right now. That's the one I'm nerding out about. I'm about to start 5th episode. Not an anime that's directly in the title. Now, Joe, you wouldn't looked it up. I'm sure you already read the synopsis on it. So you can't. I'm just saying that you're unqualified to play the guessing game of what Hell's Paradise is about. Or do you?
I didn't read the. I didn't read
okay.
the synopsis.
All right, play the game.
So.
One Piece. I started watching the real life one real quick. One Piece is a goat of anime. I watched the first half of the first episode of live action. I love the actors in it, and honestly, the parts I saw looked fantastic. I just couldn't care. Sorry.
I'm gonna get judged for this, but I watched maybe the first 15 episodes of One Piece, and I dropped it. It was okay.
I can see why people love it. I absolutely can see it. But yeah.
So Hell's Paradise. Clearly, it is about the devil really taking offense with the bad reputation of hell, so he is reforming it into a hot spring resort and turning it into a paradise. Yep, that's it.
That's close, but that's a different Netflix animation that is on right now called Hell's Hotel, Hellfire Hotel, or something like that. Close. No, so not at all, right? The artwork is 50-50 for me. 50% is fantastic, but the other is 50% is very anime of just weird shaping monsters and just odd things going on, which is not usually my style. So that's 2 strikes against this anime for me, right? However, I have found and trial and error and doing all these things, right? Watching all these different ones and trying them. The second vein I fall into. So the first one is directing the title. I like that, but is exactly why you recommended Demon Slayer, the redemption arc, that hook of completing some mission and being part of something bigger. It doesn't necessarily have to be redemption, although that really is like Solo Leveling was kind of like that. Although Solo Leveling was partially redemption, but really the other part of it too is being a part of something bigger than yourself. And move on. That's why I like the Final Fantasy series, because you're always the chosen one for some reason, but there's no prophecies. There's no reason. You're just, hey, I'm this teenager going, but you're part of something bigger. You build this team. So I do so that is absolutely what I'm loving about Hell's Paradise. If I remember the Netflix description correctly, it's an assassin and other criminals are sent to paradise or the other side to get the elixir of life. They're all condemned. Lots of violence. So it does say it's MA for nudity and for sex. I was telling Joe in the pre-show, the nudity and sex is very Japanese, as in the best. I finally got to it. I rambled a lot in the pre-show, but
you've only watched 4 episodes, right?
Correct.
So there might be more explicit stuff later.
There could be. Yes, sir. There could be. And
just as a heads up for parents, a good resource, if you just Google IMDb Parents Guide and then the title of whatever you're looking for, almost always the first link is the IMDb Parents Guide, and it's user submitted feedback on different categories of things on how explicit things in gore and language and nudity in all of that. And so I've used that quite a bit when my kids are asking to watch something that I'm not sure about, that I haven't personally watched. I'll go to IMDb's Parents Guide and look to see what the comments are there to see if it's something I want to let my kids try.
Good. And that, if you listen to Patreon, that's where I tell him, shut up, save it for the show. So he did. There's the show. So yeah, I was explaining it to Joe, because I wanted to explain, because Joe said, oh, it's recommended to me, I might like this. Okay, here's the deal. You will definitely enjoy the story, Joe. You will definitely enjoy the characters and even the violence. You know, it's fairly bloody, but it's no more bloody than anything else. I mean, it's definitely, we've watched stuff.
Demon Slayer.
Not literally together, but yeah. The best I can qualify it so far, the nudity has been like cosplay, if you will, like a sheer bodysuit, that's what I mean by very Japanese or Asian
Mystique.
culture. It is, yeah, they're naked. They're obviously naked, and you wouldn't want your kids watching it. And you probably wouldn't want somebody, if you're at work, to walk in behind you and go, "What are you watching?" But it's very clearly not genitalia. It's not graphic. That's where the almost body
like
suit,
Attack on Titan. Have you seen pictures of the Titans?
What? And then I ran away. I will not watch. That looks horrible.
They're like Ken dolls. The Titans.
Yeah, it's like that. And it's so far it's semi-relevant to the process of the story, as is the so far. So you're right, Joe. There might be some more graphic stuff coming up as far as sexual content, because it'd be like Miranda sexual. I can't say it's sexual. You still need to watch Miranda. You got Hulu? Go watch Miranda.
Hulu.
That needs, if that's not your nerding out next week, I'm coming to your house and taking the slushies back. But the adult content, if you will, has also made sense. It's not been moments of adult time. It's been a little bit of some allusions to either crimes or there's some ninjas, and part of the ninja way is seduction. And apparently, I just learned that in this episode.
I didn't realize you were a ninja.
Yeah. Yes, you did. Yes, you. Every time I walk in a room and scare somebody, I tell them I'm the biggest ninja you'll never meet. So
you'll never meet.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like people.
Most people don't catch that, but I say it that way every time. I'm the biggest ninja you'll never meet. But yes, it's a slow run for me. Like Solo Leveling was back to back. Let me watch it. Other anime has been that way. Other shows have been that way. This one, I think I don't want to ruin any of it, but I'm starting to discover possibly why it's called Hell's Paradise, but you're discovering it along with the thing. Have you seen Annihilation?
No.
It's a movie. It's a movie with Natalie Portman. You just kind of Google a review on that. So here's the thing. I liked and also disliked Annihilation at the same time because it was weird. There was things that weren't explained. Things were mutating. And there is that in this. So the first 2 episodes are very straightforward because they're in feudal Japan somewhere. Feudal, generic fantasy Asia. Okay, really is what it is. You've got ninjas. You've got a samurai clan that tests swords and executes people, and you've got all the stuff, and they're supposed to go to the other side, which is literally a place that they found that was all a legend, but you can actually get there somehow by boat, and everybody they send there keeps dying. And when they come, if 1 or 2 bodies get sent back, they are weird and they do all this weird stuff. Don't like it, but that's where they go. So once you get into the other side, that's where it's like not quite my style, like bugs with human faces and just weirdness, but I'm enjoying it enough because I want to see how this mission completes. I want to see how they get to their story. I want to see the story arc of the main character and the main sidekick with the character. Really, it's not a sidekick. She's a shogun or whatever, trying to make sure he does right. But yeah, that Hell's Paradise right now. So
okay. So you're liking it?
I'm liking it. Yes, I'm not going, oh my God, this is Demon Slayer. That's why. Yes, though. Yes, it's not on point with the title. Well, maybe it is. We don't know. We haven't seen the final episode, but it's not like Solo Leveling, where it's right there and you can't figure it out. But at the same time, you're learning with every other human character in the show what's going on too, which is kind of that Annihilation feel of your fault. We don't know what's going on. It's just this weird random thing. I like being uncomfortable in specific ways, and just not understanding quite why stuff's going on is not one of those ways. So that is that for that. Can I say that one more time? This show is brought to you by that. By the way, we have a speak pipe that we almost forgot to play, Joe. So before we hit
no, not yet. I got a plan.
You got a plan.
I got a plan.
Okay.
We're gonna do it with the next segment.
Well, that's what we're rolling into right now. Is the next segment.
Yeah.
So, Council of Dads, where's my gavel? No, Joe, you did the same thing I did. Stop copying me. You're supposed to 3D print me a gavel. So we sat at dinner, a mediocre dinner, but it was fine. We sat at dinner, looking at our phones, coming off our live show at Chattacon. It's not a gavel. Stop it. And we looked up 3D prints, and you found this magnificent gavel for the Council of Dads that has I think it's a D20 on the end of it. Just unbend the plate. Something, Bubba. Come on, you're killing me. All right. So, Council of Dads, what do you think about Father's Day presents? And by that, I actually have a TikTok that I'm going to summarize with it here. Basically, and it's from am I the astronaut or am I the butt face, right, on Reddit? This is where it came from, where these people wanted, but am I the butt face for essentially, okay, the summary is this guy's wife was going to have a day before Father's Day, just before Father's Day. He was going to have, she was going to have a girl's day. He was going to have his own time out, whatever, this and that and the other. And it sounded like you basically go away, but then she's like, oh, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't make plans. Essentially, he came back to his surprise, which was a brand new grill for Father's Day. Cool, right? Except it's in a box. So he has to put together this brand new grill, which some people might dig and some people might not, right? So this is what we think about, Joe. So he has to not only put together his own present. The girl's day was a ruse. She actually was basically doing a surprise Father's Day thing, or I don't know why it's for Father's Day. Maybe it's his birthday, but I think he said Father's Day. But anyway, where basically he has to put the grill together, season it, even though he doesn't say that. I understand from Kurt, you need to season the grill before you use the grill because it's fresh out of the box. So he's got to put it together, and then she invited over a bunch of friends for him to.
So now he's cooking for everybody
on his new grill because he thought he would have that, be excited. So coming off of that, we can talk about that specifically, but also what are, for you specifically, me, what are good Father's Day presents? And is it wrong to just go, I'm just not into that present. I don't like it.
Oh man, it makes me think of like,
well, sir, I don't like it.
Times where my kids haven't really done this much, but I've run into other people where their kids make them breakfast and then they leave a huge mess everywhere. And I had a similar thing happen. I was babysitting when I was 18. I was babysitting my cousins' 4 kids while they went to Paris for a week, and it was in that week was Valentine's Day, and the kids decided they wanted to get up early on Valentine's Day and make me pancakes, and pink pancakes. And so they told me to stay in the bedroom and until they were ready. And so I come out to raw pancakes, and like the thought was nice, but raw pancakes, the kitchen's a mess. And so I take a few bites and shove them off to school, and then I've got to clean up all of that.
Sometimes. So, okay. This whole thought that counts thing, it's way overused, baby. And that would be one of those situations. No, it's not the thought that counts in that sense. But in the real sense, so my daughters individually found this thing, because I talked about how they didn't hear me. My wife knows I really enjoyed that thing I talked about a show or two ago about Chick-fil-A did the poster, and your dad is like this, and you fill it in with all your information. And so my wife found, I guess they wanted to do it. She found something on Pinterest or whatever, and they took pieces of it and made their own posters in their own styles. And with that, so yeah, I love that. Absolutely. And it is a thought that counts on that. I don't need, well, my oldest daughter has a job, so I don't need her going spending her money on, I mean, yeah, if it's cool, like, this Inosuke Demon Slayer Funko Pop, okay, cool. And that's something I'll treasure for a while. But if it's just something, I don't need that. I don't need my youngest daughter, who does not have a job, spending my money on something for me. But I do need that their point, because it's dated and everything. So that point in life is a snapshot of where they were and what they were thinking of me. And that's what I think is amazing about Father's Day. I definitely, Joe, do not want a grill that I have to open up, put together myself. Well, one, I'm not a grill guy, so take that for what you are. This is where I wish Kurt was on tonight. I know he's dealing with bad internet and whatever other stuff. But what did Kurt say? Like, well, if they come over here for dinner, that means I'm cooking. Right? Yeah, you do have to take that in mind when you do stuff.
Yeah. No, and you started this by saying, what are some good Father's Day gifts, but my mind keeps going to some of the worst gifts I've ever gotten. Now I'm going down that rabbit hole. And it's not just Father's Day. Like, when I was early married, half of the gifts that I got for Christmas or my birthday or whatever from my in-laws were really gifts for my wife that had my name on it. Because it's stuff that I would never use.
Oh, I hate that so much.
So, yeah.
Now, let me just make sure I heard you right, because I was answering Hugh. You said early in the marriage, if I heard you right, you said you got a gift, had your name on it, is really for your wife.
Yeah, that happened several times. Or sometimes it was really a gift for my in-laws with my name on it sometimes. Like one time they were not as much nowadays, but they were huge into biking. They still bike a fair bit. And all of a sudden, I get a gift that is one of those bike trailers that little kids can sit in. So I got a gift where I never bike, like, ever. But they bike all the time. So really, it was a gift for them so that they could have the grandkids sit in the bike trailer behind them and go. And They've gotten a lot better over the years, but that was 3 or 4 years where most of the gifts that had my name on it weren't really for me.
So for me, there's two generic styles of great gifts, right? The first style is, I thought of you, and I either know you well enough, or this made me think of you. So even some dumb gifts I've gotten, it made that person think of me, and that made them happy. So like this. Okay, I just looked over. This wasn't really a gift, but something like this little dollar store Batman duck. All right, whatever. But it made somebody think of me, and they picked it up, and that became valuable because they thought of me. Right. So somebody, Joe, gifted you a beautiful painting behind you that is just perfect on the wall, and they thought of you instantly, right? I mean, that was
true.
So that's the generic first style. Is like, either I know you well enough, or this is how I view you. I thought of you when I saw this, and I thought you'd like it, type of deal. So that's the first category. The other category is, I want to share something I love in a way I think you'll accept, right? So I love coffee. And if there's, Slurpees. I love Slurpees. You ended up loving Slurpees. Just about every time, just because every time I see, I'm buying all the Slurpees. Let's share Slurpees together. This is a great Slurpee experience. We're Slurpee Eskimo brothers, whatever. I don't know. So if I saw something cool, so we've shared that experience, right? We've shared some Pokemon Go experiences, travel to Chicago, Dragon Con. So if I saw something that was this crazy, geeky, Slurpee attacking Chicago or something, like, I'm buying you that t-shirt. Of course I'm buying it, or that Funko Pop, or what, because I love it, and I want to share part of what I love with you. And so what do you think about those two categories?
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the thought matters as long as you're being considerate and it's something that they would actually like.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, you're
it's
consider it one way or the other. Either it's something you know they will like because you know them, or it is something that you love that you want to share with them. Yeah. So yeah, consider it's the word. Thanks for letting me speak for 20 minutes. When I could have said consider it and done.
my brother-in-law is fantastic when it comes to gift giving. He goes out of his way to think of things that the person he's giving it to would absolutely love. Like these headphones, they were from him. My mouse was from him. There's a few things on the back here, like actually that figure right there where my finger's pointing. That's a Demogorgon from D&D. He gave that to me as a gift as well. He is amazing when it comes to gift giving. He does so good at thinking about what the person would like.
So, point of order, sir, I'd like to bring up some business and propose a trade. We trade out Kelsey listening for your brother listening, so then he really likes me as much as you, and I can get on that gift list too, because that's very he nailed it. He got you. He got you good. All those things are very supportive. Got you the headphones to support what you're doing. Plus, they're good headphones. I think I have that same set at home, or no, I'm at home, but for my Xbox. You figure that, of course, you would love. I would like some of that hard love. Okay, Kelsey, you keep your spot if you get him in. All right, well, cool. So yeah. When people use it's the thought that counts. It's 16 years old. I'm 16 years old. Jurassic Park, year or two old at that point, and somewhere in there. Loved it, of course, loved it. But it's very Jurassic Park, right? Nothing about my life for at that point the last 8 years. So yeah, from 8 to 16. So I'm talking about as a kid, didn't really care about dinosaurs all that much. Didn't collect dinosaurs. Don't have George Stephanopoulos, whatever posters on my wall as a dinosaur. None of that crap. I like Jurassic Park though, because it's the idea of mankind's hubris coming back to bite them in the face. And it's beautiful and it's so well shot because of all the CGI. Oh, I love it.
Oftentimes, literally.
Yeah.
Bite them in the face.
So, movie fan, not actual creature fan. Don't care. So, my sister, which we didn't have to get presents for each other, it was never expected. It's a Christmas time thing, whatever. And my sister goes to Dollar Tree, which is still can be, it's not even, there's some decent stuff at Dollar Tree. It's not necessarily thought that counts.
Especially back then.
At the end here. Yeah. But she got these literal kindergarten placemats, plastic placemats that have very generic dinosaurs and it's kindergarten, man. And I got a set of 4 of those for Christmas at 16. And I'm like, that's my mom. I mean, I was raised to hide my feelings, so I was like, oh, yeah, cool. But I did ask my mom later. I said, what the HE double hockey sticks? And she's like, but you love Jurassic Park, and she just went very defensive on behalf of my sister, which made me think my mom bought them. And then gave them to my sister to give to me. My sister's 2 years younger than me, so she was 13 at the time. I'm like, but it's like, my dad got it. My dad and I don't connect on a whole lot of levels, but he gets the fandom that I have. He taught me a lot of fandom. Like, he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm just not into walking. He's huge on James Bond. I'm just not into that white privilege. But he is also huge into other Oh, that one Joe didn't laugh at. I got him on that one. Okay. Now we know the line. All right. So, but like he got me the book of Jurassic Park that year. Like that's what I'm talking about. The book is cool. It's Jurassic Park. Yes, Kelsey. Okay, that's a great thing to come up with this thing. We're still talking about Father's Day. So I hope that the fathers out there, that you have engaged with your kids. Kelsey says here, we're trying to teach our kids the art of gift giving, and it's a skill. It is an art. It is a process. But I hope you've engaged with your families to let them know what you want. My kids don't even go, what do you want? Now, Christmas, different story, right? Birthday might be a different story, but Father's Day, they never go, oh, you want they know it's like, I just want you to think whatever you think of me, whatever you want to do. And it actually disappointed me that my 19-year-old Oakland did not go with us to dinner because we went to a place. He was just being I used other words, but he was being a poop head and just being super selfish. He didn't text me Happy Father's Day. He didn't say anything to me. All the other kids did little things. My daughter, Crosby texted me first thing in the morning. The other two had little handmade cards, which are hilarious. By the way, I got to take a picture of Zoe's and put it out there, but they've got some good sense of humor and they made some jokes on the Father's Day cards. But we were going to ramen, which everybody loves, but Oakland. But it's Father's Day, and me and your papa are going to dinner, as a Father's Day thing with everybody. And I waited a few days so I wouldn't be like super guilt tripping him or whatever. But I was like, hey man, I did miss you at dinner. And he's like, yeah, well, I didn't really like that place. Like, yeah, no, I get that, but you could have got McDonald's and come on, because it wasn't just dinner, man. It was Father's Day. And
It was the experience.
yeah, it's like I said it really been nice to have all my kids at the table and just hanging out and enjoying each other.
He's just not that into dinner.
Yeah. Well, okay, you're not wrong, but also more to I want
Or
to one
first
more
breakfast, or second breakfast, or 11th.
It was still okay. You're right. It's a movie about walking and food. I forgot about that. It's just walking to go get your next meal. Is all that movie's about. But I do have a bone to pick with certain dads out there, and then we're going to play this speak pipe.
Yeah, we got a bone to pick with you, Devo. You
Yeah,
certain
I don't know.
dad.
I just know he said Father's Day was yesterday. Yeah, Devo. It bothered me this year, and I had to think about why. Because I know I just ignore society, as we addressed earlier. I don't people when I don't want to people. But the big thing, of course, on TikTok was whatever everybody wants for Father's Day, and it was very much about adult time. And so, of course, there's a meme that if you know, you know. It's a thing this girl did. It was hilarious. The world's laughing at it right now. But of course, that became this thing. And even somebody came on and mocked it. It's like, yeah, all the 40-year-old men doing that right now for Father's Day, saying that. But here's my thing. Here's why it bothered me. This is the bone to pick. I can understand as a father and as a man wanting something related to adult time for birthdays, for Christmas, whatever, every gift, whatever. But on Father's Day, I'm literally thinking about my kids and my relationship with my kids. Why is that the running theme for all these guys on TikTok? Because Father's Day is not about you and your adult life. It is about you and your children. I just can't comprehend the true thought process behind that. And it's like, it makes me just go, yeah, you're not cool, man. You're
not cool.
You're not cool, man. You're not cool. So, all right. I got this thing. And I mean, I could go on a rant, but I'm afraid that it would not be right for our audience. But I think got close enough. You understand, Joe, what I'm saying, right? And I'm assuming with your nodding that you agree. It's like, no, Father's Day is about you and your children and not anything else,
Yes.
All right. And of course, about what your brother can do for you, because every holiday is a good brother art holiday, baby. I mean, I could legit use some more headphones. I'm saying, better yet, I need a new chair. And last year I bought it for $100, brother art, just chipping in. No, all right. Let's see what Devo has to say.
So Father's Day was yesterday. We went to lunch, and while waiting, my wife said, "Let's all say one nice thing about your father."
I love that.
Why he's a good father. And he went around all the perfunctory things. And about third round comes my son, and he says, "The dad is breathing." And this shows you how deep your children will dig to say something nice about you.
That's oh my god, that's so good.
He was trying to tell you that you've become a demon slayer. You have a new breathing technique.
That's right. That's right. I didn't get it as much. I've talked about the rant of your people say happy holidays and they'll say happy Father's. Didn't happen that much. But Phil, knowing that I hate that, I woke up to go to my Sunday gig on Sunday morning, and I was getting my coffee, and I had a text from Phil saying Happy Father's Day, and I made a joke back to him, went back for it, and it just hit me. It just hit me, Joe. And by the way, Phil's gonna be on next week. Kurt's gonna be out. Phil will be on. But I just wanted to go ahead and tell this joke down because I texted it to him that day. For context, Phil was a true dumpster baby, like legit thrown in the dumpster after prom when he was born or something like that.
Oh,
Was
my.
adopted out, right?
I knew he was adopted, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he joked the first time about being dumpster baby, and I joked back, and he told the story. Hey, Finding the Stories. Actually, he's on season 1 of Finding Stories. I think he talks about. We talk about it seriously there. And his adopted dad passed away like 2 years ago. So it just, I can't help it. He makes the jokes. I can't help it, man. He brings them out in me. He texted Happy Father's Day. I said something back to him. He said something right back to me. It's like, and instantly like, hey, you need to go to your dad's gravestone today and take a picture, and then track down your biological father and text him the picture with the caption, "Wish you were here." And like 10 seconds later, that's basically what I got back in text. Like, oh my God, you just broke me with that joke of the year. I'm like, you're welcome.
Man.
Sir. And with that, we're going to be out of here, everybody. Joe, we may not be your father, but I always appreciate you riding along with me, Daddy.
It's the question of the
Whoa, I hit the wrong button.
Shut up, Mike.
Shut up, Mike. And thank you all for being out here tonight. We love you all.
Follow these nerdy dads on social media. Charles at Rock God of Podcasting. Joe at Joseph_Ard. Check out the website, wiseandnerdy.com. And as always, they may not be your father, but they'll always be your daddy.
Hey, go like us on Facebook so we can stream there again.
True story.
And like us on TikTok so we can stream there.
Like us all over the world.
Oh, I noticed that Joe did not get a new great geeky Father's Day shirt this year, Kelsey.